It's on for me.
We're live. We're live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome to a brand new gamer section interview. And without further ado, y'all know who I am. I am Kano, the brutally honest gamer. So go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Um, okay, so my developer name is Skithead Games. I'd kind of like to keep my name anonymous, but
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, I'm a indie video game dev who has I have the idea to develop a video game that is inspired off the well-known RPG. I think it was called Earthbound. It was an old 90s
Classic,
game. Yep, a
classic,
classic.
classic.
Yep, classic yet kind of horrifying game, like very scary in a way.
Yeah,
But anyways, yep.
most definitely.
So I got the idea after completing the third and final Earthbound game, known as Mother 3, which
Mm-hmm.
was only yep, it was only in Japan. But when I completed it, I had the idea that maybe I should make my own game. So
Mm-hmm.
I went across the internet looking for a game making app, and that's when I ran into an app called RPG Maker 2003. So right
Right.
now, yep. So since I don't have that much coding knowledge, the plan is to make a small demo of my
Mm-hmm.
game.
Right.
Yep, and then work on the rest of the game on a actual engine that requires coding called Go Dot Engine, I think, or Game
Mm-hmm.
Maker. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically that's the story of how I got the idea of my video game.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. But
Yeah.
for everybody that don't know, like, what was the first game that you've played that made you fall in love with gaming?
Um, it was probably when I was 2 years old, maybe 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
So a while back, my cousin gave me a Game Boy Advance, and with that
Mm-hmm.
Game Boy Advance came with a copy of Donkey Kong Country, and since
Okay.
then,
Yeah.
I became extremely addicted to the game. I'd play it 24/7. Even I'd play my game on the charge, and
Mm-hmm.
I liked playing Crash Bandicoot on the Game Boy, Sonic the
Mm-hmm.
Hedgehog. Yep, all those games. And when I got a Nintendo DS, I think for my fourth birthday, I really fell in love with playing New Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario 64 DS. Now that was my childhood.
Okay. Yeah. Those are classic games. I definitely feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. That's wow, man. That's a story for you with those classic games.
Yep. I actually still have my DS right here, surprisingly.
Hey, that's lit, man. That's lit. Because look, that's gonna be something rare later on down the line. That keep that.
I plan to. I definitely plan to.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, like, how did you get into game development before
Um,
like this project? But how did you get it? Like, what was the origin story behind of your resurgence and starting of game development?
All right, so when I was 10 years old, I've
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to make video games since I was 10 years old, but I didn't have any programming knowledge. So what I used to do is basically make these small cutscenes from Microsoft PowerPoint and mix it up, and so I'd remember the ideas for when I did know how to
Mm-hmm.
program.
Right.
Originally, I was planning on making a game that was actually inspired off a Wario Land game. You know Wario Land?
A classic. I already know that well.
Yep. So I planned to make a game inspired off that, but
Mm-hmm.
later I realized that I didn't have many ideas for the game. So
Mm-hmm.
yep. So I moved on, still with the ideas of making games, and then when I was 11, I ran into I started playing this video game known as Five Nights at Freddy's, and I
Oh.
wanted to yep. So I wanted to make my own fan made version of that game,
Uh.
but then I realized that like I didn't really have many ideas for it either. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep. So when I was 15, I started. Started playing Earthbound, and once I completed Earthbound, I wanted to play Mother 3, and that's how I
Mm-hmm.
got the inspiration for my game, which is titled right now "A Safe Place," but title could change.
Okay, I definitely feel that. So let me ask you this, right? What inspired you to come up with the names Skithead Games? Like, what was the idea behind that?
All right. So back in 2019, me and my mum, made a YouTube channel. She helped me make my YouTube channel, and it
Mm-hmm.
was originally called. I'll quickly type it. Wait, wait, do I go to comments to type it?
Yeah, you can go ahead and put it in the comments.
You know what? I don't even know how to do it. I'll just say. So my original name was It's Dat Boy 06. It was a weird name. Yeah, I know. It's so weird. I know it's so weird. Um,
Hmm.
and anyway, I realized that the name of my YouTube channel wasn't sticking with the content I made. So I made skits, and so I thought of the name Skithead Videos
Right.
because yeah, because I think I remember this one time I was in an argument with my mom or something, and she called me
Hmm.
an S head, like the S word. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on
Now
YouTube.
you can go ahead and say it. You can go ahead and say
Yep. Well, shithead. But anyway, and
it.
so yeah, yeah, I know. So a while later, I got the idea to change the title of my name, and then
Hmm.
and I asked mom, and she said, "How about Skithead? Because you're a shithead." Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Hey.
and yeah. So anyway, so with everything, every type of account I've made, I've had with the word Skithead. So with my Instagram page, I post memes there, so it's Skithead memes. And
Hmm.
and my Twitter account is about making video games, so it's Skithead Games. So it's all
Hmm.
about making video games.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah, very dope.
So, like, is you a solo developer, or are you establishing a team right now?
Well, I used to have a team. So back in the earliest days of the development of my game, I actually think I have a very so back in the first ever version of my game, I actually pitched the idea to one of my friends. He would like to keep his name anonymous
Hmm.
for reasons. But yeah, now my friend, he was absolutely awesome at coding. He knew, I think, at least five languages: HTML, CSS, Java, JavaScript. I think he's now learning Ruby. But anyway, so he wanted to develop a video game with me. So I said, I'm not the best at coding, but you are, so I'll develop the art and you can do the coding. And we actually had a good thing going. But then he later just wanted to work on his own game, which he
Hmm.
actually is right now. But yeah, so the team kind of disbanded from there, and so since then I was working on the game by myself. But so yeah, I do have another friend who sort of knows how to make music. So me and him planning on partnering up and maybe making some music for my game, like audio.
Audio. That sounds dope. That's really dope.
Yep.
But are you planning on establishing a team, like, for future projects in the long run?
Yeah, I plan to. I have a few more games in mind, but of course, it's going to take a while. I did have an idea for a 3D game, but
Hmm.
with my because I'm an indie game developer and my computer isn't really strong enough to process 3D. I'm just kind of sticking to a 2D game right now.
If for the moment, once your game sells more, then you can get you another computer and make
Yeah.
more games, like 3D games that you want to make.
Yep. Well, I actually have a job, so I plan on saving up for a graphics card for
Mm.
yep, because I have another computer in here, but it doesn't have a camera built in. It's like a gaming computer that you can
Right.
modify. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Most definitely, that's dope. That's dope. So
yeah.
let's talk about the game in a safe place, right? Or a
All right.
safe place. So
Mm.
uh, what was the inspiration behind the name "A Safe Place"? Even though we know that's not the finished title or the final title,
Yeah.
like what's the idea behind the name of that game?
Well, it's kind of a tricky way to say it. So basically, the game's going to come out in chapters. Right now, I'm working on chapter one.
Mm.
Demo version is going to a demo version of chapter one is planned to come out sometime September, I think. But anyway, so
Hmm.
in chapter one, you play as a character. Right now, his name is Sheldon. Uh, with a lot of things, the name of my main character could change. But anyway, a glitch in his timeline happens, and he ends up teleporting 5 years into the future, where the world was fully corrupted by these strange alien-like titans. So
Hmm.
a bit like how in Earthbound, the alien known as Gygus kind of invades the Earth and and tries to basically go forward in time to destroy the world. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
similar in my game. So your goal is to basically make the world a safe place again. And with the
Mm-hmm.
oncoming chapters, more Titans manage to end up going into hiding places, and these hiding places, they have the powers to modify and take over people's minds. And so basically you need to get rid of these Titans and make that certain location a safe place to be. So that's the plan.
Okay.
That's the name of the title, A Safe Place. It was
Okay.
Yep, it was planned to be called Motherboard, but I was afraid that maybe Nintendo might get a bit annoyed because, in case you didn't know, the original Japanese name of Earthbound is Mother. So I'm worried. So I changed the title in fear that Nintendo might sue me.
Yeah, you don't want to catch a lawsuit from Nintendo because they're very strict on titles of games.
Yep, that is true. They have taken down many games. They'll have zero remorse taking down my game if they have to.
Not unless they be intrigued by it and might want to put money behind you with that game. You never know.
Oh, yep, that actually happened with the game Undertale. So Undertale was actually inspired off Earthbound, and
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo was a bit annoyed by that. But when Undertale started making money, Nintendo was like, why not put this game on the Nintendo Switch? Me and you can both make money off of it. So then
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo didn't see it as a problem anymore.
Exactly, and that's why I say this game that you're working on here, Nintendo should pick that up, and it could become a Switch exclusive. You never know; the possibility is endless.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Most definitely, most definitely. So you definitely said that you're using the RPG Maker for this actual game. Like, what inspired you to use this engine out of all the other engines in the game?
Okay, so in case you couldn't tell by now, I'm a huge Earthbound fan. So I went to the old website. I think it was called starman.net. It's basically an Earthbound website, and
Mm-hmm.
basic and I was bored this one time, so I took a look at a few messages from that website about people making fan made Earthbound games. And
Mm-hmm.
then I heard of this person saying he was making it in RPG Maker, and I was like, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the comments, and when I realized the game didn't like RPG Maker didn't require, like, it still requires coding in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but the game's already been coded in very much specifics. But when I found out about this, I realized, this is my chance to finally make a video game without the stress of needing to know how to code.
Right,
So
right.
yep. So I started the development, I think, in the 4th of March, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and since then a lot has changed throughout the but yeah. So I use RPG Maker 2003 because the newest RPG makers, they don't look so good because the graphics look too hyper realistic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not the best at art. So working on working on RPG Maker 2003, since it's an old game from 2002, I'm able to make pixel graphics. Like, I make my own graphics for this game, and basically it's easier to make it because I think RPG Maker is a 16-bit app. I'm not 100% sure, but you're able to make 16 to 8-bit games on RPG Maker.
Most definitely, most definitely. So let's get more into this game that you're making right here, right? So, like, where does a safe place takes place? Like, give us a backstory behind that.
All right, so it takes place somewhere, I think, in a small rural town in America in 2004.
Mm.
So basically, the backstory is back in. Oh, do you need a second?
No, 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 no. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so back in the game's history, back in the 1950s, humanity started experiencing severe earthquakes, and their radios and TV stations started going off the all over the place. And then all of a sudden, all of that chaos stopped for at least
Mm-hmm.
a week, and that's when the Titans, the alien Titans, first arose and planned to invade Earth. And so basically, a bit like Terminator, society collapsed, but humanity still continued on fighting
Mm-hmm.
these aliens. And I think around the 1980s, humanity
Right.
won the fight. Yep. The government managed to get itself back together, and humanity won the fight against the Titans. And when the Titans retreated, not all the Titans retreated, so they were held in a Area 51 like prison in that rural town that Sheldon lives in.
Mm-hmm.
So and so 20 years later, in 2004, one of the Titans actually escaped, and all the earthquakes and TV stations start going all over the place again. But people people kind of forget about that disaster
Mm-hmm.
because um yep. So people are actually forced to forget that disaster because the government hijacked the TV stations and whatnot to brainwash people into thinking that never happened. So, interestingly enough, the Titan that escaped is hiding under Sheldon's bed and plans to kill Sheldon because that Titan knows that Sheldon is basically the prophecy to save the world. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but a glitch happens in the timeline, and the Titan basically disobeys the laws of time, causing the whole world to glitch out, but only basically causing consequences to Sheldon. And Sheldon ends up disappearing from that timeline and is brought into 2000 and hang on 2009, 5 years in the future, and basically the whole world is devastated. And this time, the Titans won instead of humanity, and the remaining humans have turned corrupted due to the water supply being polluted with a bunch of Titan powers that basically it's basically like a brain virus that makes
Mm-hmm.
people that makes people evil. It's not like a zombie virus per se, because people still have moralistic, like they can still think. They're not just the Walking Dead brain eating zombies.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Sounds interesting.
yeah, and I do have plans for a sequel. There are I don't want to go too far ahead in the sequel though because I want to focus on my chapter 1 of the game. But basically, the sequel is actually going to be based in the 1980s, so we know how the invasion actually played out and how humanity won in the first place. That's basically what the sequel is going to be, based in the
Okay.
past.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, like,
Yeah.
when it comes to the gameplay mechanics, like, what type of RPG elements are in the game? Is it more of modern RPG or is the original retro RPG?
Well, it's retro looking, like it looks like it's for a Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mm-hmm.
Like it kind of looks like Final Fantasy mixed with Pokemon, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
yep, the graphics aren't the best. So I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. It's like, what type of RPG elements are in the game? Is it more of a modern feel or it's more retro?
Well, yeah, so as I was saying, it's more retro. So basically, there's gonna be enemies, basically weird, goofy looking enemies, a bit like Earthbound. So there's gonna be random objects that actually fight you,
Mm-hmm.
animals that have rabid animals that have actually been plagued with the Titan virus. Also, um, there's also going to be humans that you encounter who have also been plagued by the virus, and yeah, and I think I'm gonna add this one very interesting attack. Hang on, let me just adjust my camera. Sorry. It's just a bit tricky. All right, so I actually have been working on this one attack called the rock paper scissors attack. So this attack is based on luck. Your character will unlock this power, I think, when they reach level 15. So
Mm-hmm.
basically this rock paper scissors thing is based on luck. So when you use this power, you and the enemy does a quick rock paper scissors, and whoever wins uh gets all their health gained up all the way to the top, and whoever loses all their health, which won't be good if you lose because you'll be the person dying and the enemy will be getting the health all the way up. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot like Earthbound, it's going to have more than one main character. So it's going to have one of those caterpillar lines where the main characters follow you, and there's going to be right now two fighters in the game that you can choose to use. So there's Sheldon, and then there's a character who has been corrupted by the Titan virus, but they're like immune to having angry thoughts. Their name they don't they w- they don't actually even have a name right now, but
Right, right.
yeah, so that's basically the plan. It's a retro 90s looking game. Also, I guess it looks a bit like Undertale because the way the graphics are. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna play this day one when it releases, so that's an actual faction.
Yeah,
So,
cheers.
cheers, Mac.
Yeah.
So, I got it down. I got the Australia accent down.
Nice, man.
Cool, cool. So, like, okay, like, what type of boss battles are actually in the game? Like, what type of bosses are you like able to fight in the game? Don't give too. You don't have to get too much away. You don't
Yeah.
want to give too much away.
All right. So the first boss you encounter will basically actually be a tutorial on how to fight in the game.
Mm,
So, yep, when the game starts, you wake up and get ready for school, and you go with your friend. Your friend is named Lewis.
right.
Plot. Yep. A quick spoiler. Lewis actually is the main villain for Chapter One. He's actually possessed by one of the main Titans. So Lewis is basically dead, but a Titan is controlling his corpse in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Yep, I know it's a bit dark, but I don't want to get too dark with this game. But anyway, so the first boss is when you and Lewis. Oh, just wait.
You accidentally muted your mic, man.
Yeah, like I said before, the cable on my headset's a bit broken, so it just disconnected. But
It's all good.
yep. So anyway, so the first boss you encounter is these two school bullies. Oh, sorry, these two school bullies that you encounter, and they basically don't want you going to the path to school because it's their territory. So
Mm-hmm.
you fight them, and basically there's going to be a tutorial that shows up that teaches you how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And yep. So the bullies are I think one of the characters' name is Jess, and the other one's name is I can't remember. He's actually give me a second. I'm just gonna quickly open up. So I actually got all a few ideas for my game saved on Microsoft Word. Um, that's his name, Boris. His name is
Okay.
Boris. Yep. So yeah, they fight you, and basically, and if you lose, you don't get a game over. They just make fun of you for losing, but still let you cross because they feel sorry for you. So
Right,
yeah.
right. Okay, that's very interesting. Very interesting. So, like, talk to us about the leveling system. Like, how, like, when you facing enemies, like, how is the leveling system? Like, do you level up after the battles? Like, how that's supposed to go?
All right. So there's going to be I don't really know, but right now, yes, you're going to level up from defeating enemies, but you can't mine XP. Once those enemies are defeated, you can't fight them. Like they won't respawn. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just to prevent people from easily reaching level 99 and easily going through the game with ease.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So also there's going to be a few secrets nearby where doing performing these secrets will allow you to gain XP. Also, with corner stores, because not everybody in the game is evil. Like people who run the corner stores, they want to harm you, but they don't want to make it look bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually buy XP from them, but it's like so expensive. So I want to make it a wee bit pricey, like not real life currency, like like it's going to be video game currency. I think it's going to be gold or maybe rubies. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway. So it's going to be very expensive so people don't instantly just grab a bunch of XP and level up over and over and over. Pardon
Most
me.
definitely.
Hmm.
Most definitely. I'm definitely excited about this game so far from what you are actually saying about this game. So, like, what type of weapons are actually in the game?
Um, you actually make your own weapons in a certain part of the game, but
Mm-hmm.
when you get ready, your main weapon is actually a plastic stick. I was planning on adding a plastic baseball bat, kind of a reference to NES, but like
Mm-hmm.
before, I was worried that Nintendo might catch on, so I chose to use a plastic stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you start off with that, but when you actually get into the apocalypse type of arena, you are basically kind of taught to make weapons. For now, that might change due to programming issues.
Mm-hmm.
But so, yep, you can either find weapons or even find two weapons. Hang on, find two weapons and basically combine them to make a super weapon. You
Okay.
will, yep. You will also have not magic powers per se, but in a way, magic powers. But basically, your the second main character, the good character that's you know corrupted but still good. She is basically a, what do you call people who have magic powers? They're a siren, I think they're called, the a siren, I think.
Depends. Probably we could say wizards and stuff like that. They have powers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, she's basically in a way a magic wizard. Um, sorry, but
That's fine.
yep. So yeah, I don't have, like, I haven't thought of it too much in a way. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's a she's in a way capable of using magic powers, but like Earthbound or Undertale or Deltarune, it
Mm-hmm.
costs, yep, it costs magic power. It costs something called uh, 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 um, I don't know what it's called yet, but it's like some sort of currency that, like, it's basically how much power you have to use these magical spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
So, oh, you were saying?
no. You, continue what you were saying.
Yeah. So basically, and the only way to actually regain these powers is by either leveling up or saving your game. So there's going to be save points in the game. You don't just click and save. You
Mm-hmm.
actually run into save points, and when you save at these points, all your health and magic basically goes all the way full.
Okay. Okay. So like, this is the multi-billion-dollar question.
Oh
Okay.
boy. All right.
This is the billions of dollars. So why should people want to play this game? What's the reason why?
Hmm. Well, basically, well, I don't really know. It's a bit tricky to explain. I personally
Mm-hmm.
think if you're someone who likes stories, like drama, action, and basically an RPG fan, like you'll play any RPG, Final Fantasy, Pokemon. I think Borderlands is classified as a RPG. Not 100% sure,
Yeah,
but
it's RPG. It's like kind of like action RPGs in a way, but it's like RPG elements in the game.
yep. All right. So yeah. S- uh. So yeah. Basically, people who want to play RPGs and who want to pass the time. So the
Mm.
yeah. So it's a bit hard to explain because I never thought of that, because I never thought too much of why people should play my game. I just kept thinking I should make the game. Tap tap tap. All that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just say this here. You know, once people get accustomed to seeing this game, they're gonna be fully intrigued. You never know, big publishers like 505 Games and stuff like that will might want to take a look into this game.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Um.
Mm.
Yep. So yeah.
Most definitely. So, like, when will this game actually be releasing? What platforms would this be? What platforms would the game be on?
So I plan on releasing the demo version maybe sometime in September. It really depends. But
Mm.
then after the demo is released, I plan on learning how to program with actual coding language. So I plan in programming in the game making app known as Go.Engine. And
Mm-hmm.
yep, the game plans on come the I plan on sorry, I plan on the game coming out in chapters. So chapter 1 is planned to be on itch.io, Game Jolt, Steam if I can afford it, because I know it costs money to put games on Steam,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe on Nintendo Switch if I can actually manage to pay a what do you call those people, publisher, if I can manage to pay for a publisher to publish my game and put it on the Nintendo Switch and maybe the Xbox. So yeah.
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna say this before I ask the final question. There's
Mhm.
multiple ways, and to the people that's listening, I want you to understand this. There's multiple ways that you could put your game on with different publishers. Like Team 17 is one of the publishers that be looking for games to be put on their platform. P Cube, 505 Industry, stuff like that. All to every game developer out there that want to pitch their game, contact those individuals that's in the email. They will check your game out. If they love it, they could talk some type of negotiation.
Nice. So
To
that's
the
a-
people.
oh,
No, go
you
ahead.
were saying.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just basically agreeing with what you said. That's all.
Most definitely. So, like, just the final question: where can they actually find you on social media?
Um, all right. So you might have seen my game when I first commented on one of your tweets. So you might have
Mm-hmm.
ran into my Twitter. But wait, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like my YouTube channel and Instagram and all that, or do you mean like where you can find the game when it's going to be released?
Where they can find where they want to harass you about your game.
Pardon?
Where they gonna harass you about trying to find your game, like
Yep,
where can they find your game, where they can find you at on social media, like on YouTube,
yep,
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that.
yep. Well, I've actually made a YouTube account about my
Mm-hmm.
game. Yep. So
Mm-hmm.
when the game is released, I'm going to put it on Twitter and make the itch.io link.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yep. Wait. Do I go to private chat to comment on everything? Like, I'm a bit confused. How do I go to the comment?
Don't worry. I'm gonna say this: all your social media is where they can find your game and where they can find you at on social media. It will be in the description below to where everybody can find where you can find the game, where they can find it, your Twitter, all your social medias.
Yep. So basically, yep. Right now, the only account I am using that promotes my game is Twitter and itch.io. I did make a Game Jolt page,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't done anything. So the Game Jolt page, I'll quickly actually look.
And the yeah 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 mic is off. You gotta fix your mic. Yeah. Are you
Pardon?
good now? Are you good now? You're good now.
All right. Um. So my okay. So my social media name, like my Twitter name, is like before Skithead Games,
Mm-hmm.
and hang on, and a lot like my itch.io, it's also called Skithead Games,
Mm-hmm.
although it's not very popular since I don't have any games posted on my page. I do have the game, A Safe Place, on there, but there's no download link. It's basically just information about what the game's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sorry. So I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm a wee bit confused. Um, but
Nah. It's perfectly fine. You don't have no reason to apologize, ladies and gentlemen. He's just nervous. This is his first interview. You feel me?
yeah, yep, it
So
is.
So yeah, just relax, everybody. This is, it's all good, But basically, that's all the questions I got for you, man. So to everybody that's listening, thank y'all for tuning in to another interview. It was very dope. Y'all definitely go ahead and check out Skithead Games. Follow them on all social medias. The link will be in the description below. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the post notification bell for when we drop videos. And also, we're doing a giveaway. We're giving away 10 codes to an Xbox exclusive, the Legend of Incaro. It's a good action adventure side scrolling game, giving away 10 codes. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel and retweet. It's in the Twitter, on our Twitter. Y'all definitely retweet it. Once y'all retweet it, we'll announce the winner on the Gamer Section podcast. And we're going to give away the codes. You did. So, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the post notification bell for when we drop content. And we out. Peace.